Yeah, excellent. Yeah, somebody vandalized my wiki page. Closer. Is that better? Okay, so are we good? Yep, perfect. Okay, so firstly, are there any questions from the first session? No? Excellent. No, don't. Excellent, thank you. Well, where's the microphone?
I think the templates topic, how categories and templates belong together, this is too important to rush over it. Will we speak about this now? Or will you explain more template stuff, or was this it?
No, God. No, we've just done categories. So the next step will be templates.
Okay.
Templates is absolutely the fundamental thing we have to understand.
I'll just be patient and wait.
Yeah. No, but it's a good question. Don't worry, I'm not. And if you don't think I've covered something, or you're worried I haven't, yeah, make sure I do. Okay, so I wanted to do a little bit of an exercise here. So I want if you could all go to the Refrata page, which is the SMWCon 2018. You should have created. Hopefully, you've created yourself accounts. So I want you to think about a business, and what I want you to do is to create some pages. Each person create one fictional name of a person in the organisation, and one fictional company department. And I want you to put them into the categories of, first of all, any person you put into a category of a person, and you also put into the category of a department you think they work in. Okay? Are there any questions? Sorry.
By naming categories, do we have to care about uppercase, lowercase?
Oh, sorry. Really, really good point. Okay. MediaWiki is case sensitive. It is really important that you have a manual of style when you start a wiki. The convention is that you only capitalize the first letter and any proper nouns. Okay, so only if it's a name, it's a town or something, do you capitalize that other letter. So for a name, if it's mine, Ben Fletcher, that will be 2 capitals. If it is human resources, only the H will be capitalized, the R will not be. Okay? The only thing is, it doesn't matter what you choose to do, but stay consistent. So I've just told you what the manual style is, only capitalize the first letter and the proper nouns. If you make a mistake, we can just move that page later and so on. But I've done, when I first started the wiki, I made a lot of mistakes of having spurious capitals and different name pages, and I had to go through and clean it up. So really good idea to get that absolutely nailed down at the beginning. Thank you, great question.
Another question, can you have blanks?
Can you have
blanks between words?
Yes, sorry.
Or do you need the underscore?
No, yeah, so you leave a blank. What it automatically does is when it creates a URL, it does an underscore, but you're absolutely fine for blanks. Yep. Space. Yep. Blanks, space, we know. We understand. Brilliant. Okay. So I'll do the same. So those online, if they want to. So to create a page, so I'll create a page named after me. You just type it, and that's a page. So you create that page, and then I'll put myself in the category of person, and I'll also put myself in the category of IT department. Certainly. So I'll just do that again. So I will now create a. Oh, I'll tell you what. I made a bit of a mistake there. So I created Ben Fletcher, which is me, and I'll show you how to. I'll create a new person, but actually, any department should be a category. Okay, and I'll explain that. So rather than creating, so I've created Ben Fletcher, and I'll show you how I'll create somebody else as well in this company. And I've added them to the categories of person, and I've also added them to the category of IT department. So I said to you, create a person and create a department within the organization. You should create the IT department should be the department in the organization should be a category. Okay, so let me just show you. So I will now create a new person. Obviously John Smith. Okay, so if you can see at the top there, this is how you create a page. So the last that doesn't work. Okay, so the last bit there, all I've done is you can put anything you put here and you press return is a new page, so you can create that new page. Okay, so I'm now creating John Smith. If that page already exists, it'll take me to that page. If it doesn't, it will present me with this page, and you'll see there's no this currently doesn't exist, and therefore to create it, you obviously have to be logged in to create it. To create it, you just click create. As I've said, before I write anything about him, what I'm going to do is add that page to a category. So he's a person, and I've decided that we're going to have a category of person. Also very important about singular and plural. Try and keep categories singular, because again, it's naming convention. If you have a category person and a category persons, they are two separate categories. So you just need to make sure your naming convention is the same. So I've created that he's a category person, and I'm going to put him in administration. I think that's spelt correctly. And I save page. Okay, so I've now created John Smith, who is in both the categories person and he's in the administration. Do you know what? I'll call that administration department. What you'll notice is both of those are red. That's because they're a link that has not been created yet. So if I go along to, if I click on person, and look, we've already created a few people, so thank you for that, and I save page, we now have the category person. So there's 3 other people that have been created that you've added to that category, and it's grouping all those pages together, which becomes quite useful if you want to just search through for the person. Okay. So cancel. Sorry. What did I do? Stamp page. What did I do? Category. Oh yeah, sorry. Oh, no, I don't need to do that. I've already created it. Sorry. Leave page. I'm getting myself confused. Okay, so if I go back to myself, so I've created an IT department. You'll see that is there's only me in the IT department at the moment. What I'm going to do, and what I'll ask all of you to do, is whatever department you've put your person, your fictional person in, can you create that? So all you do is click on that red link, which was I clicked IT department, click on it, go to that page and go create. So if you can see, I've now created a category IT department. Now then, we have IT department. I've also created administration department, and I'm sure some of you have created other departments. Now, of course, they now fit. So those categories all are departments within the organisation. So what I'm going to do is actually put these departments into another category. So they're now going to be subcategories of that larger department. Okay, so I'm in category IT department, and then I'd ask that all of you create your department that you've created, and then add it to a new category. Okay, and it'll start to become clearer in a second, hopefully. Category IT department, and what should I call it? I call it the business departments. Business. Okay. Normally you'd have a name for the business, but we'll just call it business. And helps. Can I spell? No, I spelled it correctly. It just doesn't like that. Cool. Okay. Notice singular. So I've chosen it to be singular. So with your department, do the same. So oh, thanks for joining me, Billy. Okay, so you can see Ben Fletcher and Billy Cofield are in the IT department, and the IT department is in the category business department. So if I go to business department, excellent. So I create this, and thank you. Clearly my instructions have worked. This is what I hope would happen. Okay, so I created the IT department. There are 2 people in that. You can see that says 2 pages. Okay, and then under there you'll see Billy Cofield and Ben Fletcher. Again, a music department. That's lovely. And so we have those other departments. So So as you can see, the category business departments has these subcategories, which are these other departments. So those departments are fitted. And then you could imagine within the IT department, you may have a help desk area. You may have 4th line maintenance. So you could have further subcategories, almost like a tree going down. But it's possible, of course, that Billy is so efficient that he also category, that should be administration department. Oh, you've already done it, Billy, haven't you? I see what you've done there. Let's change that, because I'll explain why in a sec. Okay. Was it music department, or was it just music? Okay. So Billy is now half singing, half fixing computers. Okay, so he's now in both of those departments. So if I go to the music department, he's joined Alex, and as you can see. So Billy is both in the IT department and he's also in the music department. Okay, so that is a really quick overview of categories and how you can quickly organize all of your pages within a wiki. It's a really, really powerful concept.
When I create a subcategory within a category, do I have to use spaces? If the main category have a spaces in, like research space department, and if I'm now creating a subcategory, then I have to write down category research department within this double brackets. Do I have to use spaces within there or the underscore?
You can use spaces. What MediaWiki will do is it will add, when it resolves that address, it will add underscores.
Okay.
But as far as you are concerned, and when you create links, so if I created a link here to Ben Fletcher, that will work, or that will work. And if we see both of those, you can see they both work, but to me, I would say leave out the underscore because aesthetically it looks better. So if you didn't realise, that's how you create a link, an internal link within the page. So you just double bracket and you make sure that you get the page right. So let me give you an example. If I forgot the capital there, just show preview, you'll see that page doesn't exist because it is case sensitive. Okay, so it's very important that you get that manual of style up straight away. Okay, if you wanted to link to a if you wanted to link to a category, and the amount of times I make this mistake, you know, you will make this mistake. So you would naturally think you'd just write double brackets category. Oh, sorry, I'm still on page. Okay, so if let's get rid of those. I want to be in the okay. So as you know, double brackets and the name of the page will give you that link to that page. Okay. There's a problem with this though. I want to be in the, and it goes blank. Okay. And the reason it's gone blank is because, of course, that's how you assign a category. Those double brackets category, music department, has now put this page into that category. Okay. So the trick with linking categories is you have to put a colon in front. Believe me, you will make that mistake. Okay, it's guaranteed. It's one of those nuances with, obviously, when you're, you know, there's nothing when you're linking to a page, you just put double brackets and what the page name is. But of course, with category, what that does is assigns the page to the category rather than actually assigning the link. So by putting that colon in the front. You'll see that now links to the category. Now, you may not like it saying category music department. So what do? You pipe. The pipes are going to be the pipe. So you basically what the page name is on the left-hand side, and that pipe is what you want to call it now. Okay, so you can call it whatever you want. So I want to be in the best department. If I show preview, it just shows you best department. But actually what it's linking to, you can just see underneath, is category music department. Now, here's a little trick which is quite useful. Actually what you wanted to say is music department. So what you'd write is music department. But actually, if you leave a pipe and blank, what it'll do is it'll automatically know, it knows that you don't want the namespace there. So the namespace, and so namespaces are areas within the wiki. So this category is a namespace. Later on we'll see templates, forms, they're different namespaces. And so if you have something with a colon in front of it, that's a namespace in the wiki, and it grabs all those things together. So categories, category namespace is what that is. So just by putting that and leaving it blank, it will automatically get rid of the namespace and fill that into there. Oh yeah, thank you. the microphone.
The linking of the categories, you put the colon just before it.
Yes.
Does the category need to exist in order for you to link it, or will it be created just by that syntax, by using that?
Okay, so let's say something we haven't created yet. We didn't create administration department, did we? Thank you.
I doesn't matter.
Administration. Admin.
Yeah.
Thank you. Whew. Yeah.
It's a me.
Okay, so am I? Thank you very much. Did you see it come out there as, because I'm missing a bracket. Okay. Show changes. Oh, no, I didn't mean that. No,
It's all going wrong.
it's all going wrong. Stay on page. Let's just copy that, sorry, just in case I lose it. Leave page. Okay. Show preview. Okay, yeah, good. So the simple answer is, if you put any link into a page into your page and it hasn't been created, it will come up as a red link.
I've just done it.
Yeah. So, and that's really good, because if you go through a document, and certainly, you know, I would do this, I'd go through a document and say, I don't know what that means, I don't know what that means, and I'd create them as links, and it then forces the author to create a page to describe that, or if it says you must go to blah 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 and you create a link for that, they have to create a live link for that. So it's actually a really good way of the first one through a document, of the next person creates links throughout that document to say, and it says to the author, you need to define what those are. So because category administration department hasn't been created, it comes up as a red link, i.e., and it says page does not exist.
Okay, question to the point before. I don't really understand it, why you make a pipe and you make another department. I think it's for renaming the department before. So why
Yeah,
to-
sure. Okay, so if I save the page like this, and you've got to remember how this is presented to the reader. Okay, so it says, I want to be in the category music department. But actually the person's trying to say, I want to be in the music department. Okay, so what you're thinking about is how the reader reads this. The reader doesn't necessarily want to see that category colon in the text.
Okay, it's only a description for the category for the reader to read it correctly, or
How am I trying to say this?
Yeah, so category is part of the wiki code, if you like. Yeah, so category is part of the wiki code. You don't actually want to see that. You just want to see, I want to be in the music department. Okay. So that function, you want to take that out. You don't want the reader to see that. Yeah. That's in the code behind. Yeah. So
it's personal taste, but you're right. It's used to display a different name of the page name. A lot of the times, though, you don't want that namespace, or the category, the template, or whatever, to actually be shown. You just want that name of that page.
It's similar to if you put a URL in a page. You don't want to put the whole URL. You just want to put a single word. Yeah, sorry. You just want to put a single word. Want me to sing?
But purely up to you. You know, there's no right or wrong answer. I personally do that because I think it looks more aesthetically pleasing, and actually it puts off the user when you start having these categories and so on put there. There's already a difficulty at times with MediaWiki in terms of when they look at a page and they see media markup language and so on. If you don't have the editor, that you're already coming against a bit of resistance because people fear technology. that you want to make this as aesthetically pleasing as possible. Okay, so let's just, I do have a summary of category summary. So I'll just go through that, and then hopefully you. Okay, so we talked about initially you have a bunch of pages, then you recognize that they need to be, you want to categorize them. I'm sorry I don't have that Laguna one that Carsten's put up there. You've now put them into their categories. You also realize that one of them is both a sports car and a micro car. So you've put the TG500 in both those categories. Then you realize that the BMW i8 is an electric sports car, so there's a subcategory of the sports car. So you now put that in the subcategory. So when you go to that page, it's part of electric sports cars, and electric sports cars is part of sports cars. Yeah, so you've got the assigning the category, double brackets, category, and whatever the name of the category is. To create a category link, don't forget, colon in front, and then you have your pipe and sports, and you don't actually have to write that. Do you know, I had 6 months of editing this and typing each of those out, and then I found out that trick. It was so irritating. So there you go. I've saved you 6. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly. That should be. Okay, cool. That is categories. I wanted to give you an understanding of that. Are there any questions before we move on to templates? Nope. Excellent. Billy, would you do me a favour? Would you go to your Billy Coffee page and just add some writing to it, if that's okay? I'll show you in a sec, thanks. Okay, let's talk about templates and something wonderful called transclusion. Okay, I didn't know what transclusion meant before I started using MediaWiki. Yeah, it's quite a useful word. As I sort of jokingly say, I use it all the time to try and sound intelligent. So transclusion is effectively taking one thing and using it. So one single source and using it repeatedly. So here's an example. You have the logo. You have the logo of Semantic MediaWiki, and rather than each time putting that logo up on each page, you can transclude it from one page to another. What you can also do is you could have a page that's just the image, and you could have a description. And of course, what you may have is the graphics department's in charge of the logo. You may have the whichever the administration department is in charge of the description. So the idea is they're in charge of that single source of truth, but the pages are created by the transclusion of those added together to actually create a page. And you may have multiple transclusions. So you may have you've got the logo, you've got the description. This forms together to a page that's about description, and you've got a main page that not only includes the about the SMW, but other text as well. And so the idea is then you have these single sources of information, areas that are in charge of this information. They have to keep that up to date, and then as soon as they change that, it rattles through wherever it's transcluded onto those different areas. So that sort of transclusion thing is going to be really, really important in the next few bits. Is there any questions so far? We'll start to do this. So okay. So as an example, I thought I had. Oh yeah, here we go. Perfect. Okay. So I've got a page called SMW logo page. Okay, that's the name of the page. And I've got another one which is the about. That should actually be description, looking at that previous slide. I'll tell you what I'll do. Should I do it? No, I won't do it now. But so you've got those two pages, and what I want to do is I'm going to transclude the logo onto this page. So the way you transclude a page, now I'm showing you this, but please don't ever do it like this. I'm just showing you because later on we'll move on to templates, okay? But I'm showing you how you transclude a page, but later on we won't. I'll say don't do this. So don't put your pens down is what I'm trying to say. So you've got the double curly brackets, the colon, and then the name of the page. Now, if I save this page, I've transcluded that page. If I actually click on that, will it take me back? No, it doesn't. I thought it'd take me to the actual logo page. But as you can see, all I've written here is this colon SMW logo page, and it's transcluded that page.
So I have a question. Could you actually do that with text on a page as well?
Yes, you can. Yeah, absolutely. And I'll talk about second, because you may not want to transclude all of the text. You may just want to transclude this bit of the text. So, yep. So, can you do it with text? So this one was text. So save this, and this will now transclude that text from that previous page to that page. Okay, so, and then what I could do oops, well spotted. What's it called? I've got the name wrong. I thought it was SMW logo. I'll go back to it. Ah, page, sorry. Yeah, sorry, go on.
When you say transclude, you're simply importing information that has already been created into another page.
Yeah, reusing.
Reusing it.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so there we go. Don't worry about the
Dynamically.
the formatting. We could amend all that. So I've now transcluded two bits, two pages into one page. Okay, I've transcluded the SMW logo page, and I've also transcluded the about SMW.
So Ben,
page.
it was just asked there, it's dynamic. So if you change something
Yep.
in the page that you've transcluded from,
Yeah,
it will filter through the rest of the wiki.
absolutely. So let's show that. Save changes. What do I do? So I'm just going to put a break here. That should make it a bit more aesthetically pleasing. These are just HTML markups. You'll learn them, don't worry. So okay, so that's just separated the logo and the text there. Would a line between work? Yeah, I've never seen it done with a space. There we go. Every day's a learning day. Great. There's no. Yeah, just.
It has to have a space between. It's not just the next line, but it's the next line and the next line. And then it'll actually give you. It looks a little cleaner, I suppose, less intimidating.
Yeah, yeah,
I didn't think of doing it this way.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
maybe it depends where you come from. Maybe Ben is a
Yeah.
HTML developer, so he makes a break.
Yeah. It's personal tech.
Yeah, okay.
I tell you when it's important. If you're importing in from,
So should we? Sorry,
Yeah.
Billy.
sorry, if you're importing in from a Word document, or if the text has already been created, it will take that break. You will display it. I don't know if you've seen that before. Yeah, if you put a break in the Word document and then import it across, you will instead of the break, you will have the command break. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Does it do that?
No,
You know what I'm saying?
I do, and we'll show that later.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you want to be picky about what you transclude. Okay, so
So I have an additional question on
Please.
this. So is it possible to take only a part, to transclude only a part
yeah,
of a
we'll,
website?
We'll talk about that.
Okay.
Absolutely. So you can decide if you know on that page. Well, there's no include only, and I'll show you. I've graphically drawn how they work because that's quite important as well.
Mhm.
Because when you, I'll explain later.
Okay. and maybe a further question: is it possible to transclude from one wiki to another wiki?
I'm going to default to Carsten there or somebody else. I'm pretty sure no. Yeah, so I'm getting nods around. I'm pretty sure no, and that's the whole point. That's why there's this real challenge. So if you want information separated, and the only way to separate them is through, a firewall or so on, that's where you create wiki farms, which are multiple instantiations of wikis, which you have different users who can access. But of course, you then lose the benefits of having this transclusion. So you have to weigh up: are you happy for everything to be in a single area with those security risks versus losing that functionality? Is that a fair summary?
Yes.
Woo! Great. Okay, so I'll add something to the bottom of this. So Billy was saying, if you change something, will that change come through? And we know the answer. Of course it will. So I save that page. Okay, I have this other page, and if I refresh it, sometimes, and actually I've noticed this before, so it doesn't necessarily rattle through straight away. And if you're not seeing it, what I normally do is just go edit and then save, and that forces it to then come through. And now you've got the of course it will at the bottom. Okay, so you might not see instant changes, but once those pages are refreshed, once the caching is overwritten, so I think it's really quite clear to see the power of this. You have people in charge of that information, and if information changes, they just change that little bit, and that rattles through your document and makes sure it keeps it up to date. Okay, so I said don't do it this way, and I meant that. The way you should be doing it is using templates. And there's lots of benefits of templates that where have I gone? Oh yeah. There's lots of benefits of templates which override the sort of doing it that way. Namely, that templates are automatically categorized, so you can find all of them. And let's just show you rather than. Okay, so forget what I've taught you there. Is the it gives you an idea. It shows you what transclusion is and how you can just transclude normal pages. But my suggestion is, if you're planning to transclude, then do it this way. Okay, so I've got a template. I'm gonna have to create these. Apologies, but it should take 2 seconds. go. Thank you. So I'm just gonna get rid of that. Okay, so I'm going to take that, copy. Actually, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move this page. So, yeah, that's far easier. Leave page. Okay. I'm going to move this page. So this is about SMW. And I'm going to move it to a template. Oh, look at that. So, moving you'll use quite often because you'll name pages and later on you'll go, do you know what, it would have sounded better, or it would have been better if I called it this page. So moving is really useful because it allows you just to, and what happens is anything that linked to that page will automatically redirect to that new page. So same with this, so anything that's linked to that will move to this page. So I'm moving this to template about SMW. And template SMW logo page. I won't do that. Go to the main page. Tutorial. Sorry, a bit cumbersome. Oops, too early. Okay, and the SMW logo page, again, I'm going to move to a template page. Excellent. Okay, so come on. Okay. Template transclusion. Okay, here we go. Okay, so if I go to here, I'm going to call this, so this is a template about SMW. Sorry, that was just created, wasn't it? Let's create a new page. Okay, so it's, I'm going to call it SMW description page. Okay, I've created those templates. So previously we put a colon in front, but actually, when it's a template, all you need to do is write whatever's after the template name. So this is SMW logo page, double space, and SMW about. I think that's right. Yeah, that template doesn't exist. What was it called? Forgotten what I created. I thought I created that. So about this. This is okay. Let's just stick with that for now. Because actually there's not much gained from just showing you the other thing that's transcluded. Right. So if you look at this, if you create a template, and I created a template called SMW logo page. So that was called, that whole page was called template SMW logo page. But when you transclude a template, you don't need to include that template bit. You just include the double bracket, the double squiggly brackets on both sides, and whatever that template's called, and that will then transclude that template. Now, I I go to formatting. Okay, let me just talk about. Okay, so if we want to templates, basic formats. Okay, so this should explain it better. Okay, so as you can see here, what we've done is we've just got the normal pages. We haven't put templates in front of them, and the way we've transcluded them is using the colon and that page description. But actually, what I'm suggesting is, and this is how you should do it from now on. Sorry, if I just go previous, and you'll see that then this is transcluded. So that about SMW is then transcluded to there. So this goes to there, this goes to there, and this goes to there. Okay. What we will be doing from now on is calling them templates. Okay. So you have your templates, different names, and the way you transclude them is you don't put the colon in front because a template will automatically transclude using those double brackets. Now the question was asked about can you pick certain parts of the text that is transcluded. Okay, and there's three tags that you're gonna. This is the only complicated bit, but this is really important. Okay, so if you've got the logo there and you want to have some more metadata about it, you know, where the data is created, who is created by, and so on, but you may not want that to be transcluded to the next page. You just want the logo to be transcluded. And so you'll have a page with two bits. One bit with what you want transcluded, and the other bit the description about it. You could also have categories in there, so it could be in a category templates, but you don't want the category to be transcluded as well. That can be a real problem, categories being transcluded. So there's markups that you can use to actually distinguish on the page which bits are transcluded and which bits are not. And you need to know these because later on when we use the special pages create templates, it will create something and you'll go, where the hell, you know, where's the template, what's being transcluded? Because you'll see it's a big bunch of writing and you won't necessarily understand what's being transcluded. So it's worth understanding these. I've got these diagrams just to explain what it is. So the first one is no include. So on a page, when you edit it, you see both. So when you click the edit function, so let's talk about the read function. When you read the page, you go to that page, the template page, you'll see both the logo and the details about that logo. But when you edit it, you'll see there's a no include tag at the front and the end of what you don't want transcluded. So when this page is transcluded, it only transcludes everything outside those two tags. The other tag is only include, and that does the opposite. Only inside those tags will be transcluded to that page. And you'll get used to these, don't worry, and we'll put these diagrams up. That's the best way I had of it, of visualizing it. And the other one is include only. And this, I don't know why, but this is the one that Semantic Media Wiki defaults to. So when you read the page, you can't see what's being transcluded. So sometimes I go around and change it. But you'll go to a page and you'll see details about the template, but you won't actually see what's being transcluded, which could be a bunch of text or so on. But actually normally the details about it is sufficient. But that is the one you will see most often. So the include only, so you don't see it on the read page, but it is the thing that is then transcluded onto the other pages.
Question, do these tags work on template pages only, or do they work on any page?
So if you're transcluding a non-template page, these would work as well. Yeah. So I had, so the example of a use case that I did, I had a scrolling news of, you know, so it dated back 3 years ago and everything that happened, but I only wanted last year's to be included. So I put the can't remember what the include. No, I didn't put include only because, of course, you wanted to read that. I would have had only include between 2018. So only 2018's latest news was transcluded onto this other page. So that's a sort of use case of where you would.
You could also mark up your page, your code, using that.
In what sense?
So if I was doing some markup, media wiki markup, if I wanted to mark up the code to say what I'm actually doing, a
Yeah.
description, I could put that on that edit page. You see what I mean?
Yes, if you've got a it's not a comments page.
Yeah, comments.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
so
that's what I mean.
I forget what you use for comments, but there's a separate comments
Like
thing.
REM or
I can't
yeah.
remember what is it. That's right. So it's the HTML one. Yeah. So it's the thing and then exclamation mark, and you can put the comments in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
So yeah, no, I wouldn't use it for comments. It is for deciding what will be transcluded onto the other page.
And what is the advantage of calling a page template page if you can basically do the same thing as with normal pages?
You'll in terms of standardization, in terms of, so if you had a news page, I wouldn't call it template. But if you had, so the first thing it does is you go special pages and you say show me all the templates. It's grouped all the templates in the namespace. So in terms of managing your templates, it's very useful. There's also, as we start using templates more and more, you're better off just using the standard. I've asked myself this a few times. I've just found it better. I'm sure there's a really good logical reason for why you should use templates, and I'd absolutely say use templates because it's a standardized way of using it. But yeah, did you?
Maybe the properties later on.
I don't know.
Is there a difference, maybe?
I don't know. Then that's what I'm trying to think. But from now on, we'll be using templates, and anybody who doesn't will be thrown out of the class. So just don't argue with me. Okay. Right. So what we're going to get onto next is template variables, but I think that's a good time to stop because we've sort of really smashed the templates and transclusion bit. Now we're going to start showing how you can transclude something but also change variables inside it. Okay, so I think we'll stop there, clear our heads for a bit, and then come back in a bit. Okay. Sorry, were there any questions, or do you want to save the questions for when we start again? Perfect. Thank you.